What is going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Friday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We have a big 10-game main slate tonight. There's a lot of questionable guys on this slate. We did just get pretty important Hornets news, and there's a lot of things we got to wait on, but there's also a lot of value out there already. So these 5 plays should help you build a nice, strong lineup tonight. We are so due to have a big night. It's been a pretty rough week, in terms of lineups. We had the parlay on the site hit last night, so at least we had that. But we're going to stick to our routine here. These plays got to work one way or the other eventually. We're due for a hot streak, so let's just continue to grind and make these great value plays and hope they pan out. So for point guard, we did just get news that Terry Rozier is doubtful tonight. He left the game last night. Kelly Oubre left the game last night, and Dennis Smith also left the game last night. So 3 of the Hornets left the game. Smith got ruled, I think, probable or even available today, so he's going to be playing. And then with Rozier doubtful, he's most likely going to be starting with a lot of usage. His price went down to $5,800, and there's a good chance we don't see Kelly Oubre out there either. Also a good chance the Mavericks blow out the Hornets, especially if Kyrie comes back. But, there's still great plays here. It's a 13-point spread. And I do think, the Mavericks aren't that good, and especially if Kyrie doesn't play. I wouldn't be that worried about a huge blowout. Smith is going to be starting here tonight, so he looks like a great value play in the absence of Terry Rozier. And then that brings us to Gordon Hayward as well. With no Rozier, he has a ton of usage. Rozier does, so that's going to open up a lot of spots. And then, Kelly Oubre, probably a better chance of missing tonight, considering he left last night's game. Gordon Hayward's going to look like a great value play alongside Dennis Smith Jr. 6,300, needs 30 fantasy points. He's going to play, in a decently competitive game. He should play 30 to 34 minutes, and he can definitely be a fantasy point per minute kind of guy tonight with Terry Rozier and potentially no Kelly Oubre on the court. So Hayward looks like a really good value play as well at 6,300. Small forward, THT, Horton Tucker went down a ton. He was like 6,700. He's all the way down to 5,500. He dropped over $1,000. And the cherry on top is that Marketing got ruled out for tonight with Jordan Clarkson still out. So Talen Horton-Tucker is going to be the starting point guard for them again. They have been utilizing Chris Dunn off of their bench. He's been playing outstanding. He's $6K on FanDuel. He could be worth a look for sure with extra usage tonight off of that bench. But Horton-Tucker at 5,500, he was a guy that was like 7,000 a couple slates ago. He was terrible in the first half last game against the Blazers. He got 3 fouls, only played like 10 minutes, and then had a huge third quarter. Ended up, getting a moderate score of 24 fantasy points. We can expect him to see 30 minutes tonight with, a ton of extra usage with no Lauri Markkanen and no Jordan Clarkson. This is just too cheap of a price on Horton Tucker. He's a guy, as we've seen in the past a couple of weeks ago, can easily get over 30 when Lauri and Clarkson are off the court. And then he has that huge upside against the Hornets, went 37, 8, and 10. Obviously can't expect that kind of game, but we do know what he's capable of. He's just been kind of playing lackluster the past couple of games. Last game, got into foul trouble. But he's in a really good spot here tonight. That price is just kind of broken. Shouldn't have dropped over $1,000. He looks like one of the best value plays on tonight's slate. Against the Bucks do not have Chris Middleton tonight. I think it's a single point spread, so considering the Bucks are on the road, I'm not too worried of a blowout. Giannis is going to look like a really good spend up if you can get there. He should absolutely decimate this Utah Jazz defense with no Lauri Markkanen out there. But Horton Tucker looks like a really good value play. He can play shooting guard and small forward. Power forward, easy play here. Denny Advia. We have no Bradley Beal and no Kyle Kuzma. Once again, we saw Advia start last game. He got like 30 in the first half against the Nuggets and virtually got 0 fantasy points in the second half. That game got really ugly really fast. Advia and Porzingis just didn't really play minutes in that second half as much as they should have. Advia played a ton in that first half, was so productive. If it wasn't a blowout, he probably would have played 35 minutes. At $6,000, his price went up, but it's still not expensive enough. We can easily expect him to see 30 plus minutes and be a fantasy point per minute with the extra usage with no Beal and no Kuzma. He is definitely the second scoring option behind Porzingis. There's also the Prize Picks fantasy square today. His fantasy score is 29.5. I would smash that over on Prize Picks. I think he definitely gets 30 fantasy points. He projects for one of the best values on this slate tonight as of right now in the early afternoon. And then for center, we're going to go back to Porzingis. His price dropped $100 to $8,900. This is just a prime time matchup against the Spurs. The Wizards should be able to do really anything they want, and the Wizards are not good enough without Beal and Kuzma to blow out the Spurs either, even at home. Porzingis saw 3 personal fouls in that first quarter against the Nuggets last game and didn't get into a routine of really seeing much more of the court. You know, he had to sit out the whole first half with only 10 minutes played with those 3 fouls, and then when he played in the second half, they slowly got blown out. So he only played 22 minutes, but, you know, he crushed. 30 fantasy points in 22 minutes is super productive with Kuzma and Beal off the court. If this game stays close, like it should, the Wizards are going to be scoring points against the Spurs. He should play easily 32 plus minutes here tonight. And with this usage, he could be a 50 plus fantasy point kind of guy tonight. I love Porzingis again. I'm not going to be too salty about his performance last game. You can't predict foul trouble. You can't predict blowouts. That's really, not that I'm making excuses, because, you know, I'm always going to take it to the chin when, you know, I'm not putting out good content like this week. But, you know, you can't really do anything about running into personal fouls and running into blowouts. We've been kind of getting, you know, absolutely shafted all week long with that bad luck. But Porzingis should come back tonight with vengeance, with a lot of usage in a great matchup against the Spurs. He should not be sub 9,000 on FanDuel. That'll do it for this video, guys. Please give it a like. Make sure to subscribe. Let's have a big Friday night here. Really do in all formats heading into the weekend. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Until next time, I am the FD Guru, and I'm signing off. Peace.